today?
I don't know. Weird.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, sort of lazy. I don't know, it's just difficult to explain.
Yeah, I think we get a little bit laid off. Like it's Sunday today, and we are recording the next show for you. Usually, but that time it's already on the internet, so we got a little bit too laid off, too lazy.
Yeah, so come on, chop chop, Father Chris, chop chop.
Well, Father Chris.
Yeah, it's your fault. You're the one that's supposed to, motivate us and, get us out.
Okay, so I promise that we'll get better next week, and we'll also add the
Kelly and the Saints, we did only 2 episodes.
yeah, and we'll add also in this week the Kelly and the Saints, and start to be more prepared and be ready for you, because we don't have to wait for us.
Yeah, there we go. So the expectations are there, so we have to fill the needs.
Okay, we're gonna fill the needs, and now let's start with the gospel from the third Sunday of Easter.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. That very day, the first day of the week, 2 of Jesus' disciples were going to a village 7 miles from Jerusalem called Emmaus. And they were conversing about all the things that had occurred. And it happened that while they were conversing and debating, Jesus himself drew near and walked with them. But their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing as you walk along?" They stopped, looking downcast. One of them, named Cleophas, said to him in reply, "Are you the only visitor in Jerusalem who does not know of the things that have taken place in these 3 days?" And he replied, "What sort of things?" They said to him, "The things that happened to Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how our chief priests and rulers both handed him over to a sentence of death and crucified him. But we were hoping that he would be the one to redeem Israel. And beside all of this, it is now the 3rd day since this took place. Some women from our group, however, have astounded us. They were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body. They came back and reported that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who announced that he was alive. Then some of those who went with us at the tomb and found these things just as the woman has described, but him they did not see. And he said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are, how slow of heart believe, and all the prophets spoke. Was it not necessary that Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory?" Then beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them what referred to him in all the scriptures.
I don't understand.
What?
Well, how they didn't recognize him? He was walking next to them just like me. Look, I'm walking here and I look, and this is Father Chris. And you recognize me, Kelly.
Well, yeah, but maybe they had a different, as you said, expectations.
What do you mean?
Well, so let me put it this way. Do you remember once when you came and we had a homily and you were so nice and so good and fulfilling all that what I told you?
Yeah, during the lunchtime.
Yeah. So what I told you that at that time?
That you didn't recognize him.
There you go, because I had a different image of you. You're stubborn, you make a lot of crazy stuff. So the image of you was different than the reality.
Okay, but you still recognize me.
Well, yeah, but I had a different image. Like, for example, when I went for vacation when I was back in Poland, usually what I did, I cut my hair and I had a long beard. And when I came back, the people didn't recognize me because they had a different image of me. So when I passed them by, they didn't see Father Chris, they just, saw a stranger. And I think the same is with Jesus. The disciples had a different image of Jesus. And it's even said in the gospel, we have expected that he will be the king, the Messiah.
So, how does it work with us?
Well, maybe sometimes we have also like a different image of Jesus.
What do you mean a different image of Jesus?
Like for example, if you ask Jesus, I don't know, to help you with this and that, and you basically expect something from him.
Well, yeah, I do that a lot.
And,
Well, he doesn't help me.
well, maybe Jesus is walking next to you and telling, hey, there is something more important than your expectations.
But I wanted that.
Well, yeah, there is a difference between what you want and how Jesus looked like. So your image and Jesus, the reality.
Oh, well. So I cannot get it?
Kelly, it's your image. It's just like with the disciples. You blaming the disciples, they didn't see Jesus, and you do the same now.
Maybe. Maybe you're right.
Well, there you go. Our expectations sometimes are different than the reality.
So how do we get the reality and the expectations and the image together?
Well, let's listen to the end of the gospel.
As they approached the village to which they were going, he gave the impression that he was going on farther, but they urged him, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening and the day is almost over." So he went into to stay with them, and it happened that while he was with them at the table, he took bread, said the blessing, broke it, and gave it to them. With that their eyes were opened and they recognized him, but he vanished from their sight. That they said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning with us while he spoke to us in the way, and he opened the scriptures to us?" So they sent out at once and returned to Jerusalem, where they found gathered together the 11 and those who with them were saying, "The Lord has been risen and appeared to Simon." Then the two recounted what had happened at that place on the way, and how he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread. The Gospel of the Lord.
Oh, so we just have to go to the mass and that's it.
Well, no, it's not about the mass. So, see, why they recognize him at that situation?
Well, because on the Last Supper, he told them that this is my body and my blood, and then he also said to them that you are not my servants, but you are my friends. And he washed their feet and was very emotional. And he treated them like true friends. And he said, "I'm going to die for you because I love you."
See, that was a very personal encounter with the disciples and with Jesus. And that's what he remembered. That was a very personal experience with them. And this is how we meet Jesus and meet the real Jesus. Whenever we had this very personal encounter with him, might be during the Mass or during adoration or, during your first communion or, I don't know, any other situation that you felt that, you are so close to him so you can almost touch him. That's the personal encounter. And that's when Jesus was real. And we can see his image when we go back to this first encounter.
So I have to figure it out when I felt like the disciples in the Last Supper, and this is the real picture of Jesus.
Yes, that's true. And when we see that, then we understand that Jesus came to us and he is with us all the time, just like he was with the disciples. Even if we have a different expectations, he was walking with them step by step. So they were together. He didn't abandon them. They just could not see him.
That's interesting.
Well, maybe as a homework, try to find, the situation when you had this personal encounter, and maybe as a second homework, in the comments, if you had already done your first communion, write down your name and the date when you received the Jesus for the first time in your life, because that will be something very, very personal and very emotional. And I think it's a good also a reminder, when we discover Jesus by the breaking of the bread, just like the disciples in Emmaus.
That sounds good.
So write the homework and God bless you, and we'll see you soon.